Hi there, I'm Shivani, your English coach. Something happened yesterday. I went to school. I was surprised to see that everything was normal. Students were sitting in their classrooms and the teachers were teaching. Then, as I was about to enter the class, I heard someone calling my name. I opened my eyes. My mother was trying to wake me up. I realized all this while I was dreaming. All that was not true. Well, you must be wondering, why am I narrating this incident? Let's revisit the paragraph. Look at the underlined words. What do they suggest? Yes, you guessed it right. You can see a be form of verb in the past, that is, were and or was, followed by an ing form of verb such as sitting, teaching, trying, and dreaming. These verbs are in the continuous or progressive tense. The whole incident took place in the past and it was in progress at a point of time. Did you notice all that? Well, by now you must have guessed what today's video is all about. It's about past continuous or past progressive tense. Let's find out in detail. Past continuous tense is formed by adding ing to the root form or base form or V1 form of verbs. Past continuous tense of a verb consists of a be form of a verb in the past. Now, what are be form of verbs in the past? Well, they are was or were. Was or were is followed by an ing form of verb, that is, was or were plus base verb plus ing. The verb was is used for singular subjects except you, and were is used for plural subjects plus you. Let's check out some examples. I was walking, she was walking, he was walking. You were walking, we were walking, they were walking. So the subject is followed by a be form of verb, or it's also known as auxiliary verb or helping verb, which is again followed by an ing form of verb. Now let's find out the usage or when we use the past continuous tense. Number 1, it's used to tell about something that was happening or taking place in the past. That is, the action was in progress at some point of time in the past and was not over till then, till the time of talking. For example, when I last met my niece, she was studying in grade 5. When I last met my niece, she was studying in grade 5. That means she was still in grade 5. Her studies for grade 5 were not over. Now, number 2, you must have noticed sometimes two actions, that is a long action denoted by past continuous tense and a short action denoted by simple past tense, take place almost simultaneously. Let's look at some examples. While I was walking past an old building, I suddenly remembered the place. Or, I suddenly remembered the old building while I was walking past it. Or you can also say, I was walking past an old building when I suddenly remembered it. So, was walking is in the past continuous. It is the long action which was not over yet. And remembered is in simple past, which was over. Now, what about this sentence? Can you do it for me? Mr. Kapoor drive to his office when his mobile begin to ring. You have to fill up the blanks. Got the answer? That's excellent. Please share your answers in the comment section. You can check your answer in the description box. You can check the right answer in the description box. Now, how to form negative sentences in past continuous tense? To form negative sentences, we add the word not after the auxiliary verb or the be form of verb. Here are some examples. I was not making noise in the class. He was not making noise in the class. She was not making noise in the class. So was is the auxiliary verb. or the be form of verb. And it is followed by the word not, which is again followed by the main verb in the ing form. That is making. Now let's look at some more examples. You were not preparing for the exams. We were not preparing for the exams. They were not preparing for the exams. Again, the subject is followed by the auxiliary were, which is followed by the negative not, followed by the main verb in the ing form, that is preparing. Now, to form interrogative sentences in past continuous tense, the auxiliary verb is placed before the subject. Were you playing football in the evening? Were we playing football in the evening? Were they playing football in the evening? So what do you notice? The auxiliary were is placed in front of the subject, which is followed by the main verb in the ing form. Now, some more examples. Was I listening to the podcast? Was he listening to the podcast? Was she listening to the podcast? Now, some negative questions. How do we form negative questions? Just insert the word not between the auxiliary and the main verb. For example, weren't you playing football in the evening? Weren't we playing football in the evening? Weren't they playing football in the evening? Wasn't I listening to the podcast? Wasn't he listening to the podcast? Wasn't she listening to the podcast? Weren't is the short form of were not. Wasn't is the short form of was not. So, was not I, or was not he, was not she, were not you, were not we, or were not they. Have you ever thought why there's a single T in the word writing, and why there are double T's in the words like cutting and putting? There are certain rules of spellings while forming the ing form of verbs. I've already explained them in my video on present continuous tense. Please watch the video to check out those rules. You'll definitely find them useful. I'll be back soon. Take care. Stay safe.